I was 16 when it happened, and even now, almost 4 years later, I still keep tape over my laptop camera. Not because of some dumb internet privacy trend, because I know someone was watching me through it. The whole thing started during winter break when I got obsessed with private livestream sites. Not Twitch or YouTube's smaller places hidden behind invite links and forums. The kind of sites where people streamed weird stuff for tiny audiences. Urban explorers, overnight dares, hackers, illegal street races, stuff like that. My friend Nolan introduced me to one forum in particular after sending me a Discord message around midnight. "Bro, look at this site, it's messed up." The website looked old and unfinished. Black background, no ads, no usernames except random strings of numbers. Most streams had under 10 viewers. At first, it just felt edgy and fake. People trying too hard to be creepy. One stream showed a guy sitting motionless in a dark basement. Another was just security camera footage of an empty parking garage. Then I noticed one stream labeled homefeed_03. No thumbnail. About 30 viewers. I clicked it. The stream showed the inside of a house through what looked like a hidden camera. Low quality, greenish night vision. The camera angle pointed toward a kitchen connected to a hallway. Nothing moved for almost a minute. The chat beside the stream was active, though. "He's late tonight. Check upstairs. Did anyone hear that?" I assumed it was scripted, some ARG thing. Then a woman walked into frame. She looked completely normal, early 30s maybe, wearing sweatpants and carrying a bowl. She opened the fridge, stood there half asleep for a second, then walked away. No acting. No exaggerated behavior. She looked like somebody's exhausted mom grabbing food at 1 a.m. I typed, "Is this staged?" Nobody answered. Another user wrote, "Wait for 1:13. At exactly 1:13 a.m., something moved in the hallway behind the kitchen. A figure, tall, completely dark, standing perfectly still. The woman never noticed. I remember leaning closer to my screen because I genuinely thought it was edited somehow. The figure looked almost blended into the darkness. Then it stepped backward out of sight. The chat exploded. "There. He's getting closer. Upstairs cam now." The stream suddenly switched to another camera angle. This one showed a bedroom. A little kid sleeping. I felt sick immediately. There were toys on the floor, glow-in-the-dark stars on the ceiling. Everything looked painfully real. The chat kept reacting like it was entertainment. Door moved. Look left. At first, I didn't see it. Then I noticed the bedroom door had slowly opened a few inches. Nobody entered. It just stayed open. I typed, "This isn't funny anymore." No response again. I clicked Nolan's Discord profile to tell him about it, but he was already typing, "Dude, I think this is real." That was exactly what I was thinking. Then the stream cut out for about 5 seconds. When it came back, the camera angle had changed again. This time it showed the outside of the house, rain falling, front yard, dark street. And standing near the mailbox was a person wearing a black hoodie, staring directly into the camera. The chat went silent for almost 30 seconds. Then one message appeared. "Wrong house." The stream ended immediately after that. No explanation. Nothing. I barely slept that night. The next morning, the site was offline. I figured maybe it got reported or shut down. Nolan thought the whole thing was probably fake after all. But later that afternoon, he sent me a news article. A woman and her son had gone missing overnight about 2 towns away from us. The picture of the house made my stomach drop. It was the same house from the stream. Same mailbox, same front yard. I called Nolan immediately, but he already sounded panicked. "Don't tell anybody we watched that." I asked why. He paused for a second. Then he said something that made my chest tighten. "Because I think they know who watched." At first, I thought he was being paranoid. Then weird things started happening. That night, my laptop camera light turned on by itself for maybe 2 seconds. I closed everything immediately. The next morning, I found a text from an unknown number. Did you enjoy the stream? No caller ID? No previous messages? I deleted it without responding. Over the next week, more messages came. No threats, just strange questions. Why did you stay until the end? How many people did you tell? Do you still visit the site? I blocked every number, but new ones kept appearing. Nolan got them too. He started covering his windows at night. At school, he barely spoke anymore. Every time someone walked behind him, he'd flinch. Then one evening, he called me sounding terrified. I saw somebody outside my house. I told him to call the police. I did, he whispered, but they were gone before anyone got here. I stayed on the phone with him for almost an hour until he calmed down. Before hanging up, he said something weird. The viewers weren't random. What do you mean? I think they were testing people. I laughed nervously. Testing for what? But he didn't answer. 3 days later, Nolan disappeared. His parents said he never came home after school. The police treated it like a runaway case at first because there was no sign of forced entry. I knew better. That night I received another text. Only 4 words. Your turn to stream. I finally went to the police after that. I showed them the screenshots I'd saved from the site and the messages from the unknown numbers. The detective looked exhausted more than concerned. He told me there were thousands of fake live stream sites online and someone was probably trolling me after Nolan's disappearance became public. Then he asked if I had proof the stream existed. I didn't. The site was gone. Every screenshot I'd taken had somehow corrupted. The files wouldn't open anymore. Even worse, Nolan's Discord account had vanished completely. Like it never existed. For a while, nothing happened. About 2 months passed. I started convincing myself maybe I'd exaggerated everything in my head. Maybe grief and fear had mixed together until it felt bigger than it was. Then came the live stream. I was doing homework around midnight when my laptop suddenly opened a browser by itself. No tabs, just a black screen loading automatically. A video player appeared. Live. 1 viewer. My stomach dropped. The camera showed a dim bedroom. At first I didn't recognize it. Then I realized it was mine. The angle came from somewhere near my ceiling. I slowly looked upward. Nothing there. On the stream, I could see myself sitting at my desk in real time, breathing, frozen. The chat box beside the stream had only one message. Wave. I slammed the laptop shut so hard I cracked part of the screen. For the next several minutes, I just sat there shaking. Then came a sound from outside my bedroom door. 3 knocks, slow, deliberate. My parents were asleep downstairs. I remember staring at the door while every horrible possibility went through my head. Another knock, then silence. I grabbed a baseball bat from my closet and opened the door fast enough that it slammed against the wall. Nobody there. But at the end of the hallway, something caught my attention. A phone, placed carefully on the carpet. Its screen was lit up, streaming live. The camera feed showed me standing in the doorway holding the bat. Someone had been in the house. I called the police screaming. They searched everything. No sign of forced entry, no missing items, nothing. But they did find one thing. The attic access above the hallway had been moved slightly open. I still remember the officer climbing up there with his flashlight. The look on his face when he came back down told me enough. Someone had been living up there. There were food wrappers, water bottles, and charging cables hidden between the insulation. And taped to one wooden beam was a small handwritten note. It only said, "Good viewers are hard to find." They never found who did it. Nolan was never found either. The police eventually stopped updating us. Sometimes I still search for traces of that website late at night, even though I know I shouldn't. About 6 months ago, I actually found a discussion about it buried in an old forum thread. Only one comment mattered. It read, If you ever receive an invite link, don't watch until the end. The ending is where they choose the next stream. Back when I was 17, I got obsessed with finding hidden websites online. Not in the fake dark web mystery box way YouTubers talk about. I mean actual hidden forums, abandoned chat rooms, and strange corners of the internet most people never stumble across. It started during lockdown when I had way too much free time. I'd stay awake until 3 or 4 in the morning scrolling through Reddit threads about lost websites, encrypted pages, and creepy internet legends. Most of it was nonsense. But one night I found something real. A user on an old forum posted a dead-looking link with one sentence under it. "Don't open this alone." Of course I clicked it. The page that loaded was completely black, except for a tiny white password box in the center. No logo, no text, nothing. Under the box was a timer counting down from 10 minutes. I figured it was some ARG puzzle. I almost closed it, but then I noticed people typing in a side chat window. Real people. Around 15 users were online. Messages kept appearing. "New people tonight? Anyone know who's hosting? Please tell me this isn't another basement feed." I typed, "What is this?" Nobody answered directly. Instead, one user replied, "Stay until the red room." That should have been my sign to leave. The timer eventually hit 0. The screen changed instantly. A grainy live stream appeared. It showed a small room lit by a single desk lamp. Concrete walls, no windows. A cheap wooden chair in the middle of the room. For almost a minute, nothing happened. Then a guy walked into frame. He looked maybe 20 years old. Hoodie, messy hair, nervous expression. At first I assumed he was the host. Then I noticed duct tape around one of his wrists. He sat down slowly in the chair and stared towards somebody off camera. The chat started moving fast. "He looks terrified. This one's younger. Ask him about the river." I remember feeling uneasy because the guy didn't act like someone performing for viewers. He looked genuinely scared. Then a distorted voice spoke from somewhere behind the camera. "Tell them what you did." The guy swallowed hard. "I already said I'm sorry." The voice repeated louder, "Tell them." The guy started crying. Not fake movie crying either. Real panic. The kind where somebody can barely breathe correctly. "I stole from him," he whispered. "I took money." The chat exploded again. "Wrong answer." "He's lying. Show the hands." That last message confused me until the camera zoomed slightly closer. The guy's hands were shaking violently. One fingernail was missing. I nearly clicked off right there. But curiosity kept me watching. The voice behind the camera asked another question. "Where is Daniel?" The guy kept saying he didn't know. Then the stream froze for half a second. When it came back, the guy had blood running from his nose. I never saw what happened. The camera never moved. But everyone in the chat reacted instantly like they expected it. "There it is." Knew he'd crack. "Ask about the woods." That was the moment I realized something horrible. The viewers weren't shocked. They'd seen this before. I typed, "What the hell is this?" One user finally responded directly to me. "Interactive justice." I left the stream immediately. Or at least I tried to. Every time I closed the tab, the page reopened by itself. I restarted my laptop. The site came back automatically. The stream was still running. Now the guy in the chair looked much worse. One eye swollen shut, lip bleeding. The distorted voice said, "Read the usernames." The guy looked toward a monitor off camera. Then he started reading names from the chat one by one. When he read mine, my stomach dropped. Marcus_17. I froze. I had never used that username publicly before. Not anywhere except Discord with a few friends. The guy suddenly looked directly into the camera, not at viewers in general, at me. "I'm sorry," he whispered. The stream ended. My laptop screen went black. Then a message appeared in white text. Session saved. I didn't sleep that night. The next morning, I convinced myself it was an elaborate prank. Maybe somebody scraped usernames from somewhere. Maybe the whole thing was staged. Then my phone rang during lunch at school. Unknown number. I answered without thinking. For several seconds, nobody spoke. Then I heard breathing. Not normal breathing. Wet, uneven, almost like someone injured. Finally, a weak voice whispered, "Don't go back tonight." The call disconnected. I skipped my last class and went straight home. I didn't tell my parents because I knew they'd think I was making everything up. That evening, I got a direct message from an account with no profile picture. It only contained a link. Underneath was one sentence. "You left early." I should have blocked it. Instead, I clicked. The same black website opened instantly. But this time, there was no chat, no timer, only a live camera feed. It showed the inside of a bedroom. For a second, I didn't recognize it. Then I realized it was mine. The angle came from somewhere near the top corner of the room. I looked up immediately. Nothing there. On the stream, I watched myself staring upward in real time. My chest tightened so hard I could barely breathe. Text suddenly appeared over the video. "Turn around." I didn't move. Another message appeared. "We can see you." I grabbed my laptop and ran downstairs to show my dad. But by the time he looked at the screen, the site was gone. Just a blank browser. He got angry and accused me of watching messed up internet garbage again. I almost wished that was true. For the next week, things kept happening. My webcam light turned on randomly. I'd hear notification sounds from devices that were powered off. Files on my laptop disappeared overnight. Then one morning, I found a folder on my desktop named Watched. Inside were dozens of screenshots taken through my webcam while I slept. Different nights, different clothes. In one image, somebody stood in my doorway. I stared at that picture for nearly 10 minutes. The figure was blurry but definitely human. Tall, hooded, watching me. I called the police after that. An officer came to the house, checked doors and windows, and told us someone probably hacked my computer. They suggested resetting passwords and reinstalling Windows. That night, my dad disconnected the internet completely. Around 2 a.m., I woke up to a faint electronic noise in my room. A notification sound. My laptop sat closed on the desk across from my bed, but light glowed from inside it. The screen slowly opened by itself. Not all the way, just enough for me to see the live stream already running. The room on screen looked familiar. Concrete walls, desk lamp, the same room from before. But this time, the chair was empty. The distorted voice returned. Tonight's guest disconnected unexpectedly. The camera shifted slightly. There was another person in the room now, hands tied behind a chair, head covered with a black cloth bag. The voice continued. "Would anyone like to identify the guest?" A poll appeared beside the stream. Yes or no. Thousands of viewers were connected now. Not 15, thousands. Votes started climbing rapidly. Yes won almost instantly. The person's hood was ripped off. I nearly screamed. It was Nolan Ramirez, a kid from my school. He'd been missing for 2 months. Everybody thought he'd run away. He looked exhausted and terrified. His face bruised badly. The chat exploded with excitement. Then Nolan looked directly at the camera. "I know one of you," he said shakily. The chat slowed. "I saw your username before." He swallowed hard. "Marcus, if you're watching." The stream cut out instantly. Complete black screen. Then a final message appeared. Participation recorded. The next day, Nolan's body was found near a river 40 miles away. Police said there was no evidence connecting his death to any live streams or websites. No trace of the page existed anymore. I destroyed my laptop after that, smashed it with a hammer in our garage. For months, nothing happened. Then last year, I received a package with no return address. Inside was a cheap webcam, and taped to it was a sticky note. 3 words written in black marker. Welcome back, viewer. When I was 19, I worked overnight tech support from my bedroom in Ohio. It was one of those remote jobs where you mostly reset passwords and deal with angry customers until sunrise. The pay sucked, but the night shifts gave me a lot of free time between calls. That's how I fell into deep web forums. Not because I was trying to buy illegal stuff or act edgy online. Honestly, I was just bored. I liked finding weird hidden websites and reading conspiracy threads at 3 in the morning while everyone else slept. Most of it was harmless. Until I found a forum called Mirror House. I discovered it through a Reddit thread about websites that shouldn't exist anymore. Someone mentioned Mirror House in the comments before the moderators deleted the entire post an hour later. That alone made me curious. I tracked down the link through an archive site and eventually reached a login page with no branding. The background was dark blue, almost black. At the center of the page was a message, Live Reflections Daily. Below it was a button that said Enter. No sign up, no warning. I clicked it. The site loaded into a grid of live stream thumbnails, maybe 20 streams total. Some showed empty rooms, others showed hallways, parking lots, stairwells, storage units, no stream titles, no usernames, just live video feeds. At first I thought they were public security cameras, maybe hacked CCTV footage. Then I noticed something strange. Every location looked residential. Living rooms, kitchens, apartment hallways. People had no idea they were being watched. One stream showed an old man asleep in a recliner, while a television flickered nearby. Another showed a teenage girl studying at a desk with headphones on. The chat beside each stream was full of viewers commenting casually like it was entertainment. Desk girl is back. Apartment 12 hasn't moved in hours. Wait for hallway cam. It felt disgusting. I clicked off immediately, but before closing the site, one particular stream caught my attention. The thumbnail showed a dark garage. A guy around my age sat inside a parked SUV, scrolling through his phone. The stream title beneath it simply read, Active Subject. That wording bothered me enough to click. The guy looked nervous. He kept checking his mirrors and glancing toward the garage entrance. Then the chat started updating rapidly. He knows. Somebody tipped him off. He should have stayed home. I felt a knot form in my stomach. Suddenly, the garage entrance opened. A white van pulled in slowly. The guy inside the SUV noticed it immediately. Even through the low-quality video, I could see panic hit his face. He locked his doors. The van stopped 3 spaces away. Nobody got out. The chat exploded. Here we go. Don't lose visual. Driver side first. The SUV suddenly reversed hard, tires screeching across the concrete floor. The camera feed shook violently, like whoever controlled it was moving too. Then the stream cut to another angle. A stairwell camera. The same guy burst through the door, carrying a backpack, sprinting upstairs 2 steps at a time. He looked terrified, and somehow injured. Blood covered one sleeve of his hoodie. The viewers were loving it. Thousands of messages flew by every second. He's bleeding. Roof exit. Cut him off. I remember sitting frozen at my desk, realizing this wasn't random footage. People in the chat knew what was happening before it happened, like they were coordinating it. The guy reached the rooftop door and slammed into it desperately. Locked. He started screaming for help. Then the camera feed froze for about 3 seconds. When it returned, someone was standing behind him. Tall, black hoodie, face covered. The guy turned around. The stream ended instantly. No explanation. The chat disappeared. The entire website went black. I just sat there staring at my monitor in complete silence. Then my work phone rang loudly beside me, nearly giving me a heart attack. I answered automatically. At first, all I heard was static. Then a calm male voice said, "Did you enjoy tonight's stream?" I hung up immediately. A few seconds later, my computer speakers crackled with loud static even though no videos were open. Text appeared on my screen. "You watched until the end." I unplugged my PC from the wall. Not shut down. Unplugged. I barely slept that morning. The next day, I searched local news articles out of pure paranoia. Around noon, I found something. A 19-year-old man named Caleb Mercer had disappeared from a parking garage in downtown Cincinnati overnight. The article included a photo. Same hoodie, same face. My stomach dropped so hard I thought I'd throw up. I called in sick to work and spent the entire day trying to convince myself it was coincidence. That night around 1 a.m., my apartment door buzzer went off. I lived alone. Nobody visited me that late. I ignored it. 30 seconds later, my laptop turned on by itself across the room. Mirror House was open automatically. One live stream filled the screen. My apartment building hallway. Live footage. The camera angle came from the far corner near the elevator. I watched myself slowly open my apartment door to check outside. The stream chat immediately flooded with messages. "He opened it. Subject confirmed. Smile for the camera." I slammed the door shut and backed away so fast I nearly fell. Then came 3 slow knocks, directly on my apartment door. Not aggressive, calm, controlled. I called 911 while staring at the peephole. Nobody was there. But when police arrived 20 minutes later, they found something taped to my door. A printed screenshot. It showed me sitting at my desk from earlier that night. At the bottom, somebody had written, "Tomorrow's stream starts at midnight." I moved out of that apartment 2 days later. Deleted every account I had, bought a new computer, changed my number. For almost a year, nothing happened. Then last month, while scrolling YouTube late at night, I saw a recommended live stream with only 12 viewers. No title, black thumbnail. I don't know why, but I clicked it. The stream showed a bedroom. Someone sleeping. For a second, I didn't recognize the room. Then I realized it was mine.